Hello everyone, Mega Chief Construct Creator here, or Halo John, or just Jonathan. I know I haven't made any videos lately. For the last 2.5 months, I've just been insanely busy at work. Just too many things going on, too many things that requires my attention. So I've been stuck doing that. I haven't built any customs lately. I have the Banished Scarab started. It's sitting upstairs. I just haven't gotten around to completing it. Everyone asks me about my collection, what my collection looks like, so I figure I'll do a video on that first. As you can see from my opening sequence, you saw my new in-box collection. That's my entire new in-box collection. What you see here, or what we see today, it's about 60% of my open box collection. I've been collecting since the very beginning of Mega Bloks. I really like to thank Mega Bloks, Mega Construx, Mega. I know they're just building a toy, a brand, but to some of us, it's something a little bit more. I use this as a release, and it's a really big part of my life. I've been building for a long time, and I really would like to thank everyone there at Mega. It's a fantastic product. It's different from the other building blocks. It's a lot more enjoyable. I've collected other brands. Obviously, we know what we're talking about here, about Legos and everything, but I enjoy Mega a lot more, exponentially more. It's definitely a lot more enjoyable. I do have a good collection of Lego also, but my main focus for the last 20 years really is just Halo and Mega Bloks though. How I started was, again, 20 years ago, like you said, when Xbox, the original Xbox first came out, I played Halo and I was hooked. And when Mega Bloks came out with their toy line, I was like amazed. I was like so happy. This was like a dream come true, to be able to build the Halo vehicles. Later on, I pretty much have every single set that's out there. One shape, form, or another, I have every single item. I might not have some of the smaller items, some of the drop pods, but beyond that, I pretty much have every single vehicle in one form or another. A few years later on, I always had an idea of what it would look like if I were to build it. I mean, that's the whole point of these building things, not just to build what's in the box, but your own rendition, your own version of the items. So that's why I came up with building some of the customs. It's not true to canon, obviously, some of my custom builds, but that's up to your imagination. I mentioned that before in my other video. It's not what's in the box, but what you come up with. I try to build my custom in the same line as Mega, as well as the game, like my the Equinox, both my Equinox Storms. There's a weak point to them, so there's a way for Master Chief or whoever you think of can get in there and destroy one of these vehicles. Well, here I'm gonna start showing you guys some of my private collection and how I display this. I would like to thank Brickman. He gave me this idea. We do communicate back and forth. He gave me this idea and said I should a way to displaying it. I really like to thank him for everything too. He's been a big inspiration to me, and I believe to all of us. His technique and his creativity has far surpassed anything. And you know, thank you to Brickman for everything he does. So I'm gonna go over some of the sets here. I know some of you guys haven't collected since the very beginning, so I'll go over some of these sets, some facts about some of these known sets that you might not realize, some interesting story about some of these sets. Like for instance, the Rhino. I tell this story all the time. For those who didn't realize, there was an error in the packaging of the Rhino. There were supposed to be it's supposed to come with 2 red grunts, but many of the packages that I've gotten, there's 4 red grunts in there. So I mean, that makes it a lot easier to army build. I bought several of the Rhinos back then, and every one of them had 4 red grunts in it. So you can easily arm build with that. Again, I know they're expensive. When I bought them, a lot of times I buy when it comes on clearance. I remember buying mine at Target for like $25 each at Target, and that's how I got so much of my collections. I do buy it when it first comes out, and then when I keep an eye on it, when as soon as it comes on clearance or it comes marked down, I buy some to build up my collection. When I do buy it, I'm not buying intent of selling it. I am not a scalper. I just want that to be known. I don't believe in scalping. I don't resell any of my halos. I've never sold. I never offered to sell at a profit of any of my sets to anybody. I don't believe in scalping. I know, but that's the way the market works sometimes. I know some of these sets are scarce, so the value goes up, and the only way to obtain it is to buy it for a higher price. One of the things, as you go along later on in my collection, like for instance, Halo Hero Series 5, I had to, that wasn't available to me. I know it was available to some. I had to buy those at scalper prices, and I only have one of them. I don't want to support these scalpers, but sometimes you have to give in and buy some of these. Well, let me go start talking about my collection then. All right. All right. First, let's start with these. These are the Frost Raven. I know you've seen this in my previous video. I have the regular Frost Raven and my winter Frost Raven. I like to say first that every single one of my builds, it's 100% mega blocks, mega Construx. I do not use bricks of any kind from another brand. I keep it strictly mega blocks. I don't like painting any of my sets. I've only painted 3 items in any of my customs. The walls here of the first one, the walls where the seats are, those were painted Tundra White. For the seating, I only painted that, and I painted one of the cockpits to, you'll see later, for the Raven, the Black Raven, Night Raven. I painted a black cockpit to make it match that, but that's the only pieces I painted. So back here to the Frost Raven, this is 100% non-painted. This was actually one of my most difficult customs. And the reason for that is I had to find all the white pieces. These weren't the white Tundra. This was the second generation of the white colors that they use. And it was very difficult to find all the white pieces. Luckily, in the original Frost Raven, the main pieces were already white. The propellers, propeller stands, some of those pieces were already white. So what I did was I used a lot of the Destiny white pieces. I bought some of the tanks and some of the other white pieces, and I used, it happened to be the same color scheme, the same color white, and I had to find and mix and match to match everything together. As you can see, it was not all completely white. Obviously, I used a lot of the grays because the original one has some grays in it also, so I had to use some of the grays and some of the blacks to match it out. So I think I did a pretty good job on it, and hopefully 100% to everyone else's liking. But this is because to locate all the proper pieces to build this, I consider this one of the most difficult builds. It was not easy to do, but I was so happy the way it came out. There might be 1 or 2 pieces that were still green, but there's no point getting around those pieces. I could actually build the pieces, but I just thought a little bit easier just using it. But as you can see, I say about 99% either white or the gray or the black. Maybe 1 or 2 pieces that were in the original green, but that's a rarity actually. But really happy the way it turned out, and I know most of you guys mentioned that everyone wishes the Frost Raven was originally all white instead of this multicolor. I know sometimes the multicolor doesn't look so good after a while, but I agree. I think it should be originally be all in white, but that's what it is. It is what it is though. But again, very happy the way it came out. There's some of my Banished. I have a lot more Banished in my other rooms. There's just some of the loose ones. Those are there ones for my custom Wraith, the rocket, anti-aircraft Wraith, and one of the Arborist vehicles. I am building more. As you see, one of the items I chose for the Arbiter was the Arbiter Chariot. I'm getting ready to build that later on. I have enough of this maroon wine color red, which I love this color. It's one of the most prettiest colors that Mega ever came out with. I'm getting ready to build more Arbiter ships to go with this one. I'm planning to build a bigger one. So that's that. Up here are all my Falcons. There's 3 Falcons. There's the blue one. I know there's one more Falcon, the Covert Ops. You'll see that on the other display table. Back there is the that's the Call of Duty assault helicopter. Obviously, I love that color. That's the same color as the Covert Ops, as well as the NMPD. It's that dark blue camouflage. I use that to build my Osprey. That became an essential part to the Osprey, actually. Here it goes. Here's one of the true questions. What was the first Covenant vehicle that came in the Banished colors? And was this? It was the Prowler that came in the Walmart set. It has that same red and silver. As you may know, here in America, there was Target had their own line of Halo Mega Bloks. Target had one, Walmart had one, Toys R Us had their own. The one that was in Walmart, where this one came from, it was centered around a vehicle and a bunch of army building. You could build a lot of army building. The first one came out was with the Warthog. You see it over there. I have it out new in a box. Then it came out with the Prowler. Then the Spade. Then the NMPD Warthog. Then the Spade. Then the Revenant. I think there were 5 different versions that Walmart had. And this was the first one that had the Banished colors. And obviously not Banished vehicle, but I left it there because it's the same shade of silver and red. And there's my custom Banished Equinox Storm. It's a when I made this, I eventually made this to look like a carrier, and that's what I was going for. If you take a look here, I'm not sure if the original came out. That's the room over there. That's the Master Chief would go down this corridor, the weapons corridor. I see the different weapons on both sides there. I have different brute weapons there and a couple of hammers. But inside there, the top opens up. But that's the weak spot. That's like an engine room. I have that both on that and as well as the Covenant one. The Covenant one is not as well covered. And the story goes, the Banished realized their mistake. This one's a little bit more heavy armed. You can see that little room there. That's where the engine room, where Master Chief has to go to shoot it with a Spartan laser over the rocket. You hit the that core, that engine core, and it would destroy the ship. It's again, both of these opens up. I just don't want to open it now. If you want to take a look at the video, the actual video for this, and you'll see the actual insides, and you can see the actual weak spot to this ship. Very happy the way this turned out. Try to make it as detailed as possible, and it's very sturdy. I know it looks long, but I used the plate and brick method to build this, so it's quite sturdy. When you lift it up, it looks flimsy, but it's not. It holds very well, actually. Go there, a couple more Banished vehicles in the back there. Then I have the Covenant Equinox Storm that I build, and again another carrier, a couple of hunters there. This is my Wraith tank, my custom one. If you see this video, most of you know this is also a convertible mode. I wanted to build a Covenant carrier, so this came out. Obviously it's 2 Wraith tanks put together. I had one comment that they said that my videos were all two vehicles put together. I said, yeah, of course. And that's what I do. I mean, this is your own collection. It's your own imagination. you can do what you want, and you just say how your version of it came out. When I built this, I was really happy the way this was built. I was building this when I was on holiday or vacation, um, and it came out pretty nice actually. I got noticed saying it looks like an invader. I didn't intend it to make it look like an invader, but I guess it does. A Wraith invader. I'm still trying to build the Banished version of this. I have enough silver pieces to build it. I just don't have the time. I promise to build one for the domain and give it to him. I just can't get a chance. I eventually will do it though. Next is the Covenant Monarch. Again, I wanted to build a different carrier. Originally, if you take a look at some people messaged me about this. Originally, this was supposed to look like Mothra. As you see from the head of it, it looks like a butterfly. The wings were supposed to come out a little bit more. I didn't have enough of the purple pieces. Eventually I will. I probably will change it. And also it was just getting a little bit too heavy to make the wings. But eventually I might just expand on it. I have a lot more pieces now, so I eventually can do it. I might just add to it and change it later on. I added lights onto there. That was supposed to be the updated version. You see little wires for it. I have a white light to it, a purple light that I could change to, and that's what I did with that one though. So it's all lighted up. The interior, it's like a whole bay, and nice and large, nice and roomy. Could fit a whole platoon in there, and that's what I came up with. Obviously, the back there came from the needler, and I did that back there. But again, initially, it's supposed to look like Mothra. But again, I might change it later on. It just makes the wings too heavy because the way it was slanted. I built a foundation to hold it, but I just ran out of the pieces the way it looked, so eventually I might fix that up. There's the Infinity. All right, I got my vulture there. I have a couple of vultures. This is the only one that's built. I use some of the open vultures to build other sets that you'll see later on. And there's the beginning of the Air Force. I have a couple. Let me take a look at there. A couple of vehicles back there. In that box is a lot of the Arctic vehicles that I have that you saw in the videos there. See the rest of these. Some of the red ones there. This one. 3 of these. 1 new versions back there. Then on top, I have the rest. I have 5 Pelicans up here. One of them is a little bit different. I made this one, I believe this one was a little bit longer. I had added some extra engines to this one and made these a little long. Obviously, there's some definitely a lot nicer ones out there. The best being, of course, from Brickman's, but I may attempt to build that later on myself, but it's never gonna be as good as Brickman, obviously. He's the best on it back there. He's the best at that. There goes that. Vehicles. Here's the Mammoth. This is the little bit larger than the original Mammoth, which is down there. This one holds 2. Actually, no, this one holds, well, I think you could fit 2 Scorpion tanks in there. I was happy the way this turned out. There's my bull elephant. People ask me where I get all the greens for this. Same place where I got all the white pieces for this one, the White Tundra. You guys will see in a minute. You guys see see that later on. There's some of the Shepherd. Some other custom built ones. The Razor 4-seated Razorback. There's the original elephant. Some mongoose. Here's the other secondary elephant. Was there some of the spades back there? So you guys see that? Some of the Wolverines, some of the Reap vehicles. There's a custom one, that 2 gun turns on that bike. All right, here's some of the Scorpion, the King Scorpion. The thing I like about when I built this one has a whole carrier bay in the back where you can hold your troops. I made that clear that, you know, it's safe for the troops to travel back there, and what would protect them more than the tank, especially one of this magnitude. So I was really happy the way this turned out. It's a little bit sleek. Some jackrabbits, Tech Mongoose. There's one Rhino, the Cobra, some Air Forces too. I have a couple more of the Sabres. Vehicles there. Let me talk about the booster frame. I don't know if you guys realize that the original booster frame, you had to get 3 different sets, 3 individual sets, and you put them together and you to make one booster frame. I thought that was an ingenious idea, actually. I don't know why Mega Construx and Mega didn't continue that idea, wait to buy different sets, combine them together, build another set. I thought that was a really nice idea. Have one buy a little bit, have a little bit of everything. It forces people to think and build other items that are not in the box. I don't know if you guys remember this. I have some of them unopened in my new embossed collection, but I unfortunately don't have all 3 of them. I remember this came out, I believe, in 2014. And when they first came out, I thought it was a pretty good idea, actually. Here's the short sword. I have 2 drones back there. I have a couple more drones there. Anything else I want to say about these sets, actually? Well, the one thing I want to say about this one, especially my Equinox, the Covenant Equinox version, I love the way this came out. You cannot see it, I guess, in the videos. The videos doesn't do it justice. The way it curves, the way it's sleek. I love the way this turned out. I guess you can't really see it here. You have to see it in person. The way it curves and everything. Everything was, the way that was set up was really nice. I'm so happy the way this turned out. It was just so smooth the way I finished it. I was really happy with that one, though. Back there are some of the Mantis. I have the other one back there, and then a couple other ones here. Show you guys my snowbirds, some of the more Arctic vehicles I have back there. I have a lot of Arctic Wolverines. When they were inexpensive, I try to get as many of them as I can. These ships were really the basis of a lot of my Arctic builds, as you guys know. Here's my snowbirds. That's the Arctic Pelican, the snowbird, and the snowy owl. Obviously I took the vulture to build that one. These 2 obviously came from the NMPD Pelican. I took a lot of the missile launchers. I did a little finagling to get the missile launchers out. So they all have, every single one of them has their own missile launchers. You can see even the snowy owl has its own missile launchers there, and it works pretty well. You just snap them off and it comes right off. Really happy the way these came out. Here's one for you guys. The snowbird, the Arctic Pelican is one of the first one I built. This one I did put on eBay to see how much it would go for. I was not intent on selling it. It was one of my custom. I couldn't let this one go. But it went up to a really high value, actually. And I ended the sale, actually. I obviously wasn't going to sell it, but I just want to see what people thought the value of this was. This was way back in the mid 2014 or 13, around that time when I built that, though. Again, those are my Arctic. This is one of my favorite themes, as you can tell. I have a lot of Arctic vehicles. I know you saw one of the videos. Strange enough, I have more Arctic vehicles. I didn't just take them out. I should just put them all together, make one large Arctic diorama or mock. Happy with the way that turned out. There's one broadsword there. Again, those are all the Arctic vehicles. And here is the polar bear. I know you guys saw the videos of it. I still haven't finished the inside yet. Really not that happy the way this turned out. Look, obviously the wheels. I get a lot of comments about the wheels. But let me tell you this. The wheels did not come white, large white vehicles like came in these. Sometimes you build with what you have. A lot of my customs, if you have the vehicles or you have the pieces that you want, obviously a lot of my custom will look a lot better, but you don't have those pieces. Especially with the land vehicles, you build with what you have, and that's the way it goes actually. I don't know how many of you guys saw this vehicle actually, how many saw this video actually. The top is the barracks, the sleeping quarters. The middle, it's obviously the back there was supposed to be the mess hall or the food area. Then actually I apologize, the back is the first aid. I built an operating table and a first aid quarters in the back. The middle is the mess hall here. And the front's obviously the control center. I don't know if you guys saw it in the video. The control center has the captain's chair where Captain Lasky sits. Commander Lasky sits. The chair swivels. I made it look like an actual armchair. It swivels back and forth. It turns. You guys see in the video. I'm happy the way it turned out. You can see it's open here in a couple places. It's not completely snapped together. It can snap together where it's nice snug fit, but it all opens up for play. All 3 levels open up. You guys want to see that? You can see that in that video, in that one. Again, I built this during the very beginnings of the pandemic. I was still working. I was still going outside because I'm a healthcare professional. I had to go out there and still work, and I used this as a stress relief. I had to actually, when I came home every night and when things were crazy, I don't know if you guys remember things when it first came out, things were really hectic, and I just need to calm my mind down every time I came home from work, and this is what I build. And that's why I thank Mega for this, just to have this to keep my mind calm. The way these missiles are, they all swivel. They're actually pretty tight. I use 4 of the Arctic Cobra sets that swivel, so they're nice and tight. They don't turn as easy as the Wolverines. So I changed that so it doesn't swivel, where sometimes I know it drove everyone crazy, it just spins around so quickly. These are actually pretty tight. They only turn as you turn them though. The weapons there, obviously they came from the Cobra also. And again, I have the 4 rockets ones. I know there's heavy artillery. Overkill, yeah, but when you're going against the Covenant, do you have enough weapons, enough guns to actually stop them? You need everything you can. It's actually, I built these, it's supposed to be an amphibious carrier. So that's why those are there. It goes into the water in the Arctic vehicles in the Arctic area. That's why that's there. If you take a look here, I don't know if you guys saw in the video now, the barracks, it does open to the outside where people can walk. That's why it looks like it has a balcony here where people can actually, the troops can actually walk. And each one of these guns, you see the front ones. I see it better here. Let me just turn it around. I see better in this one. If you see there, that's like the joystick if they wanted to fire it manually. So I did all of that for those vehicles. Definitely one of my happier vehicles with that one. This one I loved. This is my green Mammoth. I love the way the cannons turn out. It turned out really nicely. This one can definitely hold 2 Scorpions and 2 Warthogs. Love the way this turned out. It was rather difficult to get the green pieces. That's why I thought people would be more happier with it. Just to get all the green pieces that I need to build this. Obviously, I got the wheels from the anniversary Warthog, so I was able to get those wheels. I didn't have to worry about tiny wheels like that was on the Polar Bear, but you know, really happy with it. I just thought people would a little bit be more amazed by it. It was green. I love the way it turned out. It's actually probably one of the most proudest builds actually. The fact I was able to build a Mammoth in a different color, and really happy with it. Obviously, again, I didn't have all the pieces I wanted. Originally, I wanted this to be green, the camouflage green, but I ran out of those pieces. I need a lot of them. I probably have them now, but eventually I just used the gray ones instead. But you know what? It turns out to be gray and green. So I'm really happy the way this turned out. I know you guys saw the video on this one. You could see that there also. There's a whole corridor there. That's where the weapons are. I think I had all the weapons on the other side. I put the 2 missile launchers there. So it's one of a smaller Gatling gun there I have there. But again, overall, this one, I was so happy the way this build turned out. I mean, the way the cannons turn, I love this actually. Again, overkill, yeah, of course, but again, if you're dealing with the Covenant, you rather have more than less, right? There's the bull elephant. Again, I love the way this build out. There's actually, if you take a look at this one, same thing with the polar bear. I don't know if you realize that when you saw the video, I had those separate room compartments. Those were actually the bathrooms. Actually, I had the showers, bathroom, lockers. I had the mess hall in the back. You know, I built this fortresses for the UNSC troops. Try to have a little comfort for all of them actually. Try to make it as realistic as possible. Now, question. Everyone asked me where we get all these pieces from. Again, as I was saying, I was really lucky. Here in America, at least, they came out with this 790 piece bucket that had the camouflage green. It had the tundra white. It had the grays, the blacks. So I was able to use that to a lot of my custom builds. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that or not. When that came out, I was so happy. I needed a lot of white pieces. Let me see if I can show it to you guys. That's it right there. The 790 piece Mega Construx pieces. Heck, a lot of the tans. Also the tan pieces, again, the green and the white pieces. I use that a lot of my builds. As you can see, I bought a lot of them. I bought a lot there. At one point, they were on clearance, so I bought a couple of them. They had them at Amazon. They had them at Walmart, and I was able to get a lot of those. Also, when Toys R Us went out of business, I bought a ton of these Mars mission rovers actually. That was one of the keys to a lot of my builds to the Tundra White. I was able to obtain a lot of those pieces to build my Arctic ships. Without those, that was the key to getting a lot of my pieces together. That's how that works. Here are some of my other custom builds. Actually, not custom. These are my open items. That one was a Target exclusive. I don't know if you guys remember that. It came also with a Cyclops. That one over there came with that set actually. A couple of pieces there for Warthogs. Oh, the story with that one, the Meridian Yellow, the defense one. I don't know how many of you guys were able to get that one, this particular yellow Warthog. When they came out with that, they came out with a lot of extra pieces inside. They had a lot of the additional yellow pieces. I believe the front, if you combine that with some of the other pieces that you might have spare parts, you might be able to build a second Warthog, or you have pieces enough to build it. I have those additional pieces somewhere. I might build one later on, but see what happens. That's the Revenant, the purple color. That's also Walmart exclusive. Attack Mongoose back there. There's one of the Mantis. This is 3 of the high grounds. I have 3 of them opened. I made one reverse one over there that connected. That's a fire base, and those are the Covert Ops back there. Some Pantheons. Right there. Covert Vehicles here. And a couple of different Cyclopses there. Alright. Here is my NMPD collection. It's one of my favorite collections, actually. This is not all of them. This is majority of them. There's a custom Vulture, NMP Vulture. A couple of the Cyclops, the Warthog. There's a custom Warthog back there, the multi-seat Warthog. A couple of the Hornets. When the NMPD Pelican came out, I was so happy. I wanted to build those Arctic. I always wanted to build the Arctic Pelican, Arctic Snowbird, but I didn't have any white canopy pieces. When the NMPD came out, I was so happy that it came out. I finally had the pieces necessary to build the Snowbird. Couldn't have been happier. Originally, I might have used the police car as the canopy, but the Pelican was it came out to be a lot more useful. I love the NMPD colors because it's that dark blue. It's that, and that also turns over with the Covert Ops dark blue, and also with the Tundra white. The colors came out pretty nicely, actually. I do have the I took apart the landing pad. Actually, I have more landing pads, obviously, but the landing pads, the bases, were using a lot of the land vehicles. They were the ones inside to have that smooth pieces to for the vehicles to go back and forth. But I'm eventually going to put the landing pad back together again. I do have a lot of those pieces available now. There's that. I know one of the critics about the NMPD Vulture that I built came out, why would a police force require a Vulture? My argument to that is, well, when you find the Covenant, you're defending the city against the Covenant, and that's what happened in the game. Again, don't you need all the firepower you can get? I mean, you have some of the Cyclops that were pretty well armored, but you need all the firepower that you have to protect the city, and you have the threat of the Covenant protecting you. You're gonna need some sort of heavy arms, and one Vulture or multi-Vulture is not gonna do any good, actually. But to have at least something to help the police force go against the Covenant, you're gonna need something like that. Here is the Covert Ops collection. Again, this is not all of it. This is the Toys R Us line. They came out with the dark blue, which I love, actually. There's the original Sparrow. There's the my custom built Osprey. I love the way that came out. It came out so smooth. I am going to build a NMPD version of it. I know a lot of my own criticizes saying that the base was not wide enough. I'm going to make that a little wider for the NMPD version, and carry more troops. Those are all police officers in there. There's the Night Raven. I built the Covert Ops Night Raven. Again, that's the cockpit I was telling you about before. The only other thing that I colored. Those are the only 3 pieces I ever colored in Mega Bloks or Mega Construx. There's the Falcon, also Covert Ops, the Sparrow, the Night Raven, the Night Osprey, the Wolverine. That Warthog back there is not really Covert Ops, but it's the Covert Ops color. There's the Scorpion tank, and here's some of the Cyclops. Those are the original ones. I put some more armor back there. These are the heavy arms. I made these customs. I gave it 2 missile launchers, and I put a rocket backpack, make it look like have some sort of aerial flying capabilities. To spread out the launch out the missiles that way, but it's like a jetpack. But again, it's custom. Is it true to canon? No, but that's how it goes. But I believe I like the way these came out. Eventually, I have more. I have a lot more of this dark blue that I'm gonna build. I'm gonna add more vehicles to this Covert line. Actually, I love this line. It's I would say this is probably my favorite line, the dark blue collection. That Mega Construx ever came out with. They came out with let's go over it. It came out with NMPD, Covert Ops. It came out with the red versus blue for Target. They have the Onyx versions, the Meridian versions, the Reap X, those vehicles. They have those. Back there is my some of my Covenant. I know you guys saw the Covenant on some of my other tables there. This is not all of them. I have more Covenant vehicles, but this is just some of them. I'm eventually going to build a base, perhaps, for the Covenant. They don't have a base right now, but I'm eventually going to build one. I mean, I love their lines. I know everyone's more into the Banished right now, but Covenant is not too bad either. That purple is a nice tinge to it. You know what I mean? It's a nice color line. But, well, that's that. That's some of my Covenants. That's pretty much all of my Covert Ops. Again, actually, I have a couple more Covert Ops open ones. I have a couple more Wolverines lying around somewhere upstairs. The majority of my NMPD. And again, all of this is about all together that you saw today. This and all this and everything on the table before. This is about 60% of my open box collection. What else I have upstairs is the everything's separate. I turn off the lights, that's why it's a little darker now. What I have upstairs are the loose pieces. I separated them into tool bits, actually, like what they keep in tools, or the bit compartments to different colors by different shades of pieces. And I have that upstairs, and by different color. I have cases and cases of those, actually. I'm gonna turn on the lights, actually, then. See the lights start turning on. There's the cabinet lighting I have here. Makes it look nicer. There it goes. I turn on most of the lighting. As I do, again, my table upstairs in one of my rooms, I have the pieces separated to colors. And that's what I do. That's how I start building stuff. I start separating into colors first, and then separating by style pieces. I have cases and cases of different boxes of these different colors. No, it picks up on it, and it's easy to pick out the colors that way and build easier to find pieces. It is frustrating when you don't have the pieces that you want, but that's what happens a lot of times. But again, once you finish building a custom, I have to tell you guys this, it's very satisfying. After you build something that, say, no one else has, or no one has been able to put together, when you have your own particular build, nothing more satisfying. I know nowadays, the microwave age and short attention span, you don't have much time to put into these things, but I tell you right now, if you have the patience to build these things, it really, really is a satisfying hobby to have, to build certain things. When I built the, for instance, when I built the Snowbird, it took a while. It took me, I believe, a week to build this thing, but to find the pieces, I mean, when it was done, I was so happy the way it turned out. But it's very satisfying, like I said. That's why I do tell people, just continue building. It's a very rewarding hobby. But okay, all right, signing off. In the next couple of videos, we'll start talking about my new in-box collection. All right, talk to you guys later.